All right, let's start with number 9. So number 9, I'm going to put down my red line through the equal sign. Okay, and again, if you want to follow along, I actually have my calculator out too because I really don't want to do this math mentally today. So I'm going to have my calculator out so I could simply just do some calculations, okay? So the first thing we want to look for is we're going to look on the left side. Do I have any parentheses? And the answer is yes. So we want to use distributive property here, which means anything multiplying outside the parentheses, in this case the 25, it needs to get multiplied in or distributed in. So we're going to do negative 25 times 1. That's negative 25. And guys, like always, stop me if you need help or further explanation. Okay, and negative 25 times 10. Okay, so it's negative times a negative, that makes it positive. So it's positive 250A. Okay, so the parentheses are gone. I bring down the negative 5 I have here. And we're just working on the left side right now. So I did the distributive property. If you remember, after distributive property, we're going to look for combining like terms. And what you'll notice is we do have some like terms. Negative 25 and negative 5 are like terms because they have no variables. So I want to combine these. So negative and negative, they're on the same team, so they're going to make a bigger team. So we're going to put them together, and that's going to give me negative 30. Okay, and then I'm going to bring down the positive 250A minus 30. And then we look, there's no more combining like terms. We are done cleaning up the left side. Now let's do the same thing for the right side. Any parentheses? And the answer is no. Any combining like terms? The answer is no. So I could just drop down the 4,970. Okay, so again, this is the same process we talked about on Tuesday. It's just the numbers are a little bit bigger, but it's the same steps over and over again. Okay, now we need to go to step 3, which says, do I have variables on both sides? That answer is no, so I don't have to do step 3. Okay, now we move on to step 4 that says I need to isolate my variable. I need to get A by itself. So that means the 250 and the 30 need to go away. And we have to understand that the 250A, when it's written like that, let me kind of rewrite it for you. It really means multiplication here. So I'm going to put a little multiplication sign in there. This 30 is subtracting. So we want to get rid of subtraction, addition first. So we're going to make the 30 disappear first. And to do that, we do the opposite of subtraction, which is addition. And what you do to one side, you do to the other. Okay, so we're left with 250 times A equals, and then if you need your trusty calculator, go ahead and get it out. 4,970 plus 30 is basically 5,000. Okay. And we're almost done. A is still not isolated, but now we know to get rid of the 250, we have to do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. Okay, and now we have A all by itself, and then we go 5,000 divided by 250 with our calculator, and we get 20. And we're done with number 9. Okay, essentially, guys, that's all we're going to be doing for 10, 11, and 12. So let's jump over to number 10. Put my line in. Okay, so we want to do steps 1 and 2 to clean up the left side, which says, do I have parentheses to distribute? Nope. Do I have combining like terms? And the answer is no. So the left side is cleaned up. So we're going to write that down, but I'm going to save that for a little bit later. We'll write it down a little bit. We just know that this 3,500 is cleaned up. Now we're going to do the same thing for the right side. Do I have distributed property? And the answer is yes. I have parentheses, so I want to distribute this 35 because it's next to the parentheses and it's multiplying. So we're going to go ahead, 35 times 9. That's 315n, or 315 times n. Okay? And then 35 times negative 8. That's going to give me negative 280. All right, again, I'm using my calculator. I would encourage you to do the same thing, especially if numbers get really big. Just be careful with your signs. Okay, so now we can bring down the 3,500 just so it's even with my equation here. So let's check the right side still. We did distributed property. Now we have to combine like terms on the right side. There is nothing to combine. And the reason is this 315 has an n. This guy does not. So then we move on to step 3. It says, do I have a variable on both sides? And the answer is no. So now we move on to step 4. It says isolate my variable. So I have to get n by itself, which means 315 and 280 have to go away or disappear. And the one we want to disappear first is the guy adding or subtracting, which is the 280. He's subtracting, so the opposite of subtraction is addition. The 280s cancel out on the left, on the right. Okay. And then we add 3,500 plus 280. Again, the reason we're adding here is because they're both positive. So they're on the same team, they're coming together. So that's going to give me 3,780 equals 315 times n. And now to get rid of 315, we're going to divide both sides by 315 because it's multiplying. The 315s cancel out. Divide it in your calculator. 3,780 divided by 315. And that's going to give me 12 equal to n. All right. Let's jump over to number 11. Same idea again. Let's check the left side first. Do I have to distribute? And the answer is yes. We're going to distribute 3.2 because it's multiplying into here. So again, use your calculator. So it's 3.2 times negative 4. That's going to give me negative 12.8k. Don't let the decimal scare you. Just treat it exactly the same way. All right, let me make a little bit more room. Negative 12.8. That's times k. So understand it's times k. All right, and then 3.2 times 3.1. That's going to give you positive 9.92. Okay, now just check the left side. Can I combine these like terms? And the answer is no. This one has a k, this one doesn't. So we're done cleaning up the left side. The right side needs no cleaning up. So there's no distributed property, no combining like terms. So we're going to just drop that down. Okay. Step 3 says, do I have variables on both sides? The answer is no. So now I want to go ahead and isolate the case. Step 4. So that means the 9.92 has to go away and the negative 12.8 has to go away. Which one do I do first? You do the one that's adding or subtracting first. So we're going to do the 9.92. The opposite of addition is subtraction. And what you do to one side, do to the other. Okay, so I'm going to put 59.84 in my calculator, subtract 9.92. Okay, 59.84 minus 9.92, and you get 49.9 3.92. These cancel out, and we're left with negative 12.8 times k. So now to get k by itself, I need to get rid of the negative 12.8. Since it's multiplying, I'm going to divide negative 12.8. Because the opposite of multiplication is division. The negative 12.8 cancels, we're left with k. K is isolated, and now we just throw this in our calculator. 49.92 divided by negative 12.8, and our answer is negative 3.9. Okay, so don't let the decimals freak you out. Just use your calculator to calculate those. All right, and if you notice, every problem we did, we've done the same procedure, the same routine over and over again. Let's do one more. Put my line in. Let's clean up the left side first. So I do have distributive property here. This is multiplication. Get your calculator out. 3.68 times 1. Hopefully you know that's just going to be 3.68 without a calculator. Okay, and then 3.68 times negative 4n. So 3.68 times negative 4. That's going to give me negative 14.72 times n. Okay, and then we check, can I combine these like these terms? And the answer is no, they are not like terms. This guy has an n. So I'm going to bring this guy down because he's already cleaned up. Step 1 and 2 won't work for him. So it's negative 47.84. All right. So now I want to check, do I have variables on both sides? Nope. I want to isolate the n, which means 14.72 has to go away and 3.68 has to go away. Okay? We want to get rid of the guy that's adding or subtracting first. So if you look, this negative 14.72 is actually multiplying. So the guy that's adding and subtracting is the 3.68. And we look at the sign in the front of 3.68. He's positive. Okay? This negative sign belongs to the 14.72. And he's multiplying. This guy is positive, so that means we want to get rid of this guy first. And to get rid of something that's adding, we subtract. What you do to one side, do to the other. Okay, and then we throw this in our calculator. So the negatives, they're from the same team, so they're actually going to add together or combine together to make a bigger negative, okay? Or you can just make sure you plug the negatives into your calculator. Okay, if you do this correctly, remember you're essentially adding here because they're both negative. But your answer stays negative because they're combining to make a bigger negative team. You get 51.52. These cancel out and you're left with negative 14.72 times n. And to get n by itself, we get rid of this multiplication by using division. So we're going to divide by negative 14.72. What you do to one side, you want to do to the other. So negative 14.72. This cancels. N is equal to, and then we throw this in our calculator. 51.52 divided by 14.72. And you're going to get a positive 3.5. Remember, when you're dividing and the signs are the same, it turns into positive. Okay, so that is 9 through 12. Alright, so I'm going to put the checking code chair into the chat room, just in case you forget.
Yes, sir.
What's up?
And these 4 problems is the quiz?
Yes.